worth repeating, these storms moving extremely quickly. They are moving at 40, 50 miles per hour. That means if a tornado warning is issued, which we now have for northwestern Columbus County and western sections of Bladen County, that you don't have very long to react.
Weekend, and unfortunately, I'm not too happy about the chance of rain, specifically on Friday or Saturday morning, Eric. But
I give her 70-degree temperatures. I give her sunshine all this time, and she's complaining about a little bit of rain, which, by the way, we actually need.
I know.
Yeah, you give us a little bit of rain.
Shame on me.
Shame on Kim. That's right. Why are things so quiet in the tropics? Well, it has to do with something called dust. A lot of dust right now moving off the African continent. And what this does a lot of time, these bright brown areas, they are areas where the dust is very intense. Notice it's right over the intertropical convergence zone, and this dust is choking off the tropical waves, not allowing them to develop into tropical storms or hurricane. So it looks like for the next week or two, this dust is going to inhibit the development of storms. But in time, we do expect the tropical storm is actually looking more and more. I've been kind of focusing on that storm because it is looking very impressive right now, and it is getting very close to the towns right now of Delaware and Harrells. Those towns definitely very much in jeopardy. Look at that hook echo. You can see it very nicely right now showing up on the First Alert digital Doppler. It's that gate-to-gate shear that we're talking about, and again, this classic inflow notch which we're seeing, and again the circulation center right about here, and that's going to look at that on velocity. It's really showing up very, very nicely. You've got the greens one direction for the radar, the reds the other direction for the radar. That's the gate-to-gate shear that we're talking about, and this is getting ready to cross Highway 421 right in the vicinity of Delaware and Harrell. So again, this is in Sampson County that we're talking about. Very likely a tornado. It's certainly very strong indications of it on the Doppler radar. I haven't seen any confirmed reports of it on the ground, but it would not shock me at all. And again, if you are in the towns of Delaware and Harrells, you need to take cover right now because this possible tornado will be crossing right over Highway 421. And Colin, we should probably do a storm track on this particular cell because I'm really getting concerned about it because the shears are just, again, a very impressive looking storm. We've seen this quite a bit today, too many times. And again, as we said, Delaware, it's literally right on top of you. But if this circulation cell holds together, and you can see that classic hook echo, it's really showing up right now very nicely. It's going to be moving up into Duplin County, right in the vicinity of Magnolia, and possibly up around the Kenansville area and Belleville area. Once again, probably more northern Duplin County, probably a little more in jeopardy with this particular cell. But again, southern Sampson County, and again, this one has got the potential also to cross Interstate 40 if it holds together. But very, very strong signatures with that particular cell.
Your First Alert weather.
Classic August day across southeastern North Carolina. Temperatures right about what you'd expect for this time of the day, about to 85, 86 degrees. I think we're on our way to a high of 89 degrees here in Wilmington, just a tad above where we should be for this time of the year. And as we check out the WECT weather app, which you can get right now for your iPhone or Android device, you can get this hour-by-hour forecast, which does show partly cloudy skies, but note the chance of thunderstorms beginning to increase by about 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon. Not everybody's going to see rain, but isolated thunderstorms that are slow movers and putting down locally heavy rain will be possible. Temperatures should briefly get into the upper 80s, but may fall back into the mid 80s with more cloud cover and a better chance of showers and thunderstorms later today. Live view from the First Alert traffic camera. You can see Cape Fear Memorial Bridge back in the background. Looks like the traffic moving along pretty nicely. 85 degrees, the current temperature at the airport. Humidity at 69%. Mostly cloudy skies. We've had a lot of high and mid-level clouds around, but if we can get a little more sunshine, I think we can still achieve that high temperature of 89 that we're forecasting. West winds at about 6 miles per hour. Across the rest of the area, Wilmington's actually one of the warmer readings. Cloud cover keeping the temperatures back a little bit in some places. 82 in Jacksonville, 79 Kenansville, 82 Elizabethtown. Warm spot is actually Fayetteville, currently checking in at 86 degrees. Satellite picture and radar composite. Earlier this morning, quite a few showers off the coast of South Carolina. Those showers have pretty much dissipated at this point. You can see those high and mid-level clouds moving across the area, but thus far, really nothing to show on the First Alert digital Doppler, but we still think with the sea breeze boundary and this little upper level disturbance, which we're using on the water vapor image. Water vapor image, oftentimes a good tool to use during the summer months, helps us identify upper level disturbance. You can see a little spin right here across just to the west of Washington, D.C. That upper disturbance moving across off to the east, but probably close enough that in combination with the sea breeze will allow at least a few showers and thunderstorms to develop during the afternoon hours. And here's a look at our hour-by-hour forecast model. You can see that we will see a little more activity by about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Isolated thunderstorms popping up. Localized heavy rain, just like what we've seen the last few days. Nothing really to kick these storms along real quickly, so any storms that develop will put down heavy rain in localized area. But here's going to be the story moving forward. The strong cool front pushing into Virginia, we think, by tomorrow morning. Now, we'll probably start off dry tomorrow with partly cloudy skies, about like this morning with temperatures in the low 70s. But here we go. With the addition of this front, I think we're going to see a little more scattered thunderstorm activity tomorrow afternoon. And here's the good news. This front is actually going to push to our south, and it's going to pave the way for some beautiful weather this weekend. Now, Saturday morning, still a little bit unsettled with the chance of a few isolated showers and thunderstorms, but in time, some cooler and drier air will begin to move into the area, and that's going to really be reflected in the forecast as we head towards Sunday. In the tropics, hard to believe it, absolutely nothing. One little area of disturbed weather seems to be popping up in the southern Caribbean, but right now the Hurricane Center does not think anything will develop over the next 5 days. So for the rest of today, 89 isolated thunderstorms, but once again, if you're under one, localized heavy rain will be a possibility. West winds at 5 miles per hour. Spotty evening thunderstorms, any storms that develop will quickly fall apart this evening with the loss of the heating of the day. And I think tomorrow a better chance of scattered thunderstorms as that front begins to move in, a high of 89. And the first alert planning forecast, Saturday still a little bit unsettled, especially early in the day, but once that front gets a kick to the south, Saturday afternoon into Sunday, we have got smooth sailing. It is going to be absolutely wonderful. Highs in the mid-80s, it looks like, for Sunday and Monday. Notice I have sunshine and no rain in the forecast. I think we get back to reality by about Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, but Sunday has to be the highlight day, and there's the reason why. Big dome of high pressure, part right across the mid-Atlantic. That means sunshine, low humidity.
Perfect.
I hope you've made your outdoor plans, Kim.
Perfect.
If you haven't done so, you need to make them right now.
It's a really good forecast.
It is.
That's good.
I'm looking forward to it.
I think a lot of people will be. Thanks, Eric. New technology is being used to help cut down.
Meteorologist Eric Davis with your First Alert weather.
A hot and steamy afternoon on tap for southeastern North Carolina, and so far, well, we really haven't seen any showers or thunderstorms develop across the area. In fact, I have cut the thunderstorm chance a little bit back down to about 30%, meaning about 1 in 3 of us will probably see a shower or thunderstorm before the day is out. Visible satellite picture revealing little in the way of cloud cover. You can see just a couple little clouds right here developing in southern New Hanover and Brunswick County, but by and large, mostly sunny skies, and that has really allowed the temperatures to soar this afternoon. In fact, we've now hit 93 degrees here at the station, and heat index values in some places are going to approach 105, very close to heat advisory criteria. So no surprise, a lot of people are flocking down to Wrightsville Beach right now and getting in that water, trying to cool off. Swimming pools, popular places, and just about anything indoors. Remember, if you are working outside, make sure you're drinking lots of water and take frequent breaks. 92 degrees right now at the airport, the humidity at 55%. Southwest breeze, that doesn't help you much when temperatures get as hot as they are. That's just blowing hot air around, and believe me, the temperatures are very hot right now. 92 degrees in Wilmington, the heat index at this hour 102, so it actually feels 10 degrees warmer than it actually is. 90 degrees in Jacksonville, 89 in Elizabethtown, 90 degrees in Whiteville, and as I said, I think some spots will easily see heat index values at or maybe even over 105 before the afternoon is out, making this one of the hottest days we've seen so far this summer. Radar and satellite composite, very little cloud cover across North Carolina, so the temperatures are heating up. Most of the big thunderstorms still well back towards our west, and there is a pretty strong cold front now pushing into parts of the Ohio and Tennessee Valley, and it is that cold front that's going to begin to move in here. It looks like by Wednesday the temperatures will drop, but the rain and thunderstorm chances will increase in a big way as we head through the rest of the week. For now, though, there's another stationary front across Virginia, and that's the dividing line between more reasonable air across the northeast U.S. and the extremely muggy, humid, nasty conditions that we're seeing here in southeastern North Carolina. Our hour-by-hour forecast model, you can see the temperature soaring into the 90-degree range. Not really a lot of thunderstorm activity. Some of our mesoscale models have really been backing off on the thunderstorm activity for this afternoon. That's why I have cut the thunderstorm chance back a little bit for today. So about a 1 in 3 chance you have a shower or storm cool you off. This evening, I think most of the thunderstorms will die off pretty quickly, but make no mistake about it, even though the rain chances are a little bit lower for today, I still think we could be looking at a very heavy rainfall event, somewhat starting tomorrow, but especially midweek and into the weekend. Still some indications that we could be talking about some very heavy rainfall totals. And with a very active weather week ahead, and remember, hurricane season ramping up, our next Weather Radio Wednesday event is this Wednesday, August the 14th, 4 to 7 p.m., the Walgreens, 4501 Market Street. We'll have 2013 hurricane survival guides, lots of information on there and preparing for hurricane season. We'll have folks who can program weather radios and also some weather radios available for purchase. Get prepared now for the hurricane season. And speaking of hurricane season, not much going on right now. One area of disturbed weather right now in the southern Caribbean. This may have the potential to develop, but not right away, maybe over the next 3 or 4 days. And some models have this area tracking towards the Gulf of Mexico. Our long-range computer models suggesting that the Caribbean and maybe the Gulf of Mexico will be the hot spots for tropical activity later this week and into next week. But right now, no signs of any trouble along the east coast of the United States. Isolated thunderstorms now for this afternoon. I've upped the high just a little bit, but 94 and 95 certainly not out of the question. West winds at 5 miles per hour. Tonight, muggy, isolated thunderstorms during the evening, a low of 75. And your first alert planning forecast. Fortunately, it doesn't stay this hot. It does begin to cool down a little bit tomorrow, 90 degrees. But here comes that rain and thunderstorm chance, 50% on Tuesday and now 70% on Wednesday and Thursday. Can't emphasize enough, Kim, that we really may be talking about the potential of some very heavy rainfall around here Wednesday, Thursday, and notice the thunderstorm chance doesn't drop all that much Friday into the weekend. So a prolonged period of wet weather could mean the potential of some flooding later this week. So we're concerned about the heat this afternoon, and then more concerned about rain and possibly flooding later this week.
That stretch of days looks pretty ugly.
Yeah, it doesn't look very good, does it? At least the temperatures look better, but the rain, yeah, not so much.
But they won't be complete washouts. We'll just be getting those big, large downpours at times.
Yeah. Some of the days could be close to washouts. I hope not, but Wednesday and Thursday particularly look very wet.
All right, we'll keep an eye on it, or you keep an eye on it and let us know.
We certainly will.
Thanks, Eric.
Begins today in Chadbourne in Columbus County. Let's check back in with Eric Davis. He is live out there this morning for our weather on the 6s. Eric?
Yeah, Kevin, I know we've had a lot of questions about some of the specific things going on at the Strawberry Festival, and I've got just the person to help answer those questions. And that person, Deb Wilson, who's the president of the Strawberry Festival. She's going to tell us all about the events going on this weekend. Now, of course, we all know about strawberries, Strawberry Festival, hot air balloons going on behind us, but there's a lot more to the Strawberry Festival. Why don't you tell us about some of the other big events going on this weekend?
Right. Well, starting in the morning, we're registering for the antique car show and the bike show. And then we have an excellent lineup of entertainment that will start at 9:30 in the morning and run all the way through 9:30 at night. And, of course, the Strawberry Festival Parade that starts at 2 o'clock. There's just really a lot of something for everybody. We'll have, I understand we're going to have lawnmower races, lots of things for the kids to do, some pony rides. And the weather's going to be great. So everybody just come on out and enjoy it. We'd love to see you. And Eric, we got you all some fresh strawberries right here in Chadbourne.
Fresh strawberries, gotta love that. Especially gotta love the fresh fruit, the local fruit too, with all those high prices at the grocery store. One other question here: how many balloons are we going to have out here this weekend?
I think we have about 26, and there are excursion rides available. Those are by appointment, of course, and then they'll be offering tethered rides, the weather permitting. Of course, yeah.
That means pressure on me. I think.
It's oceans and waterways. You know, I didn't realize this. They cover more than 70% of the surface of the Earth.
Yes, but despite all of that room, First Alert meteorologist Eric Davis explains why many species of fish are or could be endangered in tonight's special report.
Overfishing is a growing problem that will continue to have a profound impact on both the economic and environmental health along coastal sections of southeastern North Carolina in the years ahead. Overfishing is defined as catching fish and other seafood at a faster pace than the natural replacement rate. Already, the decline of many fish species has cost many Atlantic coastal communities hundreds of millions of dollars and untold environmental damage. One example of a species that has been decimated by overfishing is the red snapper. In recent years, the population has decreased to only 12.5% of a safe level. With the exception of 1 week last September, the federal fisheries have prohibited red snapper harvest since January 2010. The hope from fisheries managers is that the red snapper population will grow back to sustainable levels in the years ahead. Without fishing ban, officials fear the red snapper could suffer the same fate as northern cod, which abruptly collapsed in 1992. To this day, northern cod has not recovered from its collapse, and many New England fishing communities were decimated as a result. Many fishermen, such as Captain Robert Schoonmaker of Carolina Explorer, have mixed feelings about fishing regulations.
The reason I support fishing limits is to help the population. Certain fish are stressed and they need to be able to recover. And then sometimes the science might not be as good as we'd hope, and we see fish that are over-regulated when there's plenty of them out there still swimming around.
Schoonmaker cites black sea bass and gray trout as species that are over-regulated. He also says fishing limits impact his bottom line and the bottom line of commercial fishermen.
Fishing limits, I know fishing limits impact my bottom line. I take people fishing for a living, so the less amount of fish they can keep, sometimes they're reluctant to come back. You know, they want to be able to take home a cooler full of fish. So it affects my bottom line as well as it does with the commercial fishing, because it basically relates to how many pounds of fish you can bring in, equates to what you make at the end of the trip.
Steve Wyndham is a former chairman of the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission, a body that regulates freshwater fishing in North Carolina. He explains why he thinks regulation is more important than ever.
When you have more and more people seeking the recreation of fishing and an infinite or a limited amount of resource, then you have to guard that resource by setting size limits, manner of take. Manner of take meaning, are you doing it hook and line or by a net or bow net, and different things like that.
Wyndham cites a regulation success story in the form of the striped bass, along with another step his former commission has taken to help repopulate the species.
What we've done with striped bass in the Roanoke River Basin, what we're doing with striped bass in our own Cape Fear River right now. The Wildlife Resources Commission is stocking over 100,000 fish a year into the Cape Fear River to reestablish the striped bass that was overfished by nets, by hook and line, just overfished.
The good news is most fish species are still doing well. However, most agree if future generations want to enjoy a wide variety of freshwater and saltwater fish, steps must be taken to limit the catch. I'm Eric Davis for Fox Wilmington.
And for more in-depth coverage on the topic of overfishing, we have posted extended interviews with both Captain Schoonmaker and Mr. Wyndham.
Yeah, you can find them right now on foxwilmington.com. As